Good evening and welcome to the regular board meeting of the Frankfort Village Board. Tonight is Tuesday, September 3rd, 2024. Call this meeting to order, and I ask our clerk, Katie Schubert, to take the roll, please.
Mayor Ogle,
Here.
Trustee Ledden,
Here.
Trustee Savaria,
Here.
Trustee Rigoni,
Here.
Trustee Petro,
Here.
Trustee Borelli,
Here.
Trustee Rossi,
Here.
Attorney Lamore,
Present.
Chief Chalepis,
Here.
Village Administrator Pisha,
Here.
Assistant Administrator Barika,
Present.
Clerk Schubert is here, and we have quorum.
Thank you, clerk. If everyone would please stand with me and we'll say the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Next item on here is what's called the unanimous consent agenda. All items on the consent agenda are considered to be routine in nature and will be enacted in one single motion. There is no separate discussion of these items unless a board member so requests, in which event that item will be removed from the consent agenda and will be considered separately. At this time, I ask if any of the trustees would like to remove any items from the consent agenda. Hearing none, can I get a motion and a second, please?
So moved.
Second.
So we have a motion by Trustee Savaria and a second by Trustee Petro. We'll go through the items that are on this list, just so that those who are in the audience, as well as those who will be watching at home or at a later date, knows what your village board is voting on. All of this information is also contained in a packet online under the village board agendas, so you can follow along. It's the same information that the board will be seeing. We have the approval of the minutes from the regular meeting on August 19th, of 2024, and then the approval of the bills, and we will go to Trustee Ledden.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. So the bills for approval this evening total $668,982.47, and it's made up of the following funds: the general corporate fund totaling $298,292.39, the motor fuel tax fund totaling $4,587.50, the capital development fund totaling $97,238, the sewer and water operation and maintenance fund totaling $70,386.85, and finally the sewer and water extension fund totaling $198,477.73. Those are the total bills for this evening. Thanks.
All right, thank you, Trustee Ledden. Now we'll go to an item with Trustee Savaria.
All right, the next one is the end-of-year transfers. Fiscal year 2023-2024 end-of-year transfers are presented for the village board consideration. These transfers provide for allocation of excess operating revenues over operating expenditures to the capital accounts. The general fund, Fund 01, will transfer $9,959,119 to the capital development fund, Fund 31. This amount reflects a surplus of revenues over expenditures from 2023-2024 fiscal year and will be used for future capital expenses, including equipment purchases, street resurfacing, and other capital projects. Utility Operating Fund, Fund 62, will transfer $8,800,000 of excess revenues over expenditures to the Utility Capital Fund, Fund 68, for future capital expenditures, including utility projects and IEP loan repayments. The motion before us is to approve the 2023-2024 fiscal year and Village of Frankfort interfund transfers as presented and dated April 30th, 2024.
Thank you, Trustee Savaria. We have two items from the Plan Commission, and the first one will go to Trustee Petro.
Thank you, Mayor. The first item tonight is Triple Crown Training, LLC at 9426 Corsair Road. The applicant, Omar Hassad, on behalf of tenant Triple Crown Training, LLC, proposes to operate an indoor baseball training facility at 9426 Corsair Road, located in the Airport Industrial Park. The applicant requests the granting of a special use permit for indoor recreation to accommodate the operation of the indoor baseball training facility in the I-1 Limited Industrial District and multiple zoning variances related to parking lot improvements. At the August 22, 2024 public hearing on the project, the Plan Commission forwarded 5 unanimous recommendations to the Village Board to grant the special use permit for indoor recreation subject to several conditions and the variation request related to the existing parking lot improvements. The motion before us tonight is to accept the Plan Commission recommendation, waive the first and second readings, and pass an ordinance granting a special use permit for indoor recreation to the property located at 9426 Corsair Road to accommodate the operation of Triple Crown Training LLC, an indoor baseball training facility in accordance with the reviewed plans, public testimony, and findings of fact, and conditioned upon, 1, implementation of 15-minute breaks in between the offered scheduled time slots for any group training classes to accommodate parking space turnover. 2, staff approval of trash enclosure details that comply with the requirements listed in the municipal ordinance and zoning ordinance within 18 months of approval. 3, staff approval of a landscape plan. 4, the business shall require that only employees park in the north 6 parking spaces unless a railing is implemented to delineate the parking spaces and the loading dock slope. And 5, removal of an existing gravel within 18 months of approval. The second motion is to accept the Plan Commission recommendation, waive the first and second readings, and pass an ordinance granting the following zoning variations for the property located at 9426 Corsair Road to permit parking lot improvements for the operation of Triple Crown Training LLC, an indoor baseball training facility. 1, a pavement setback variation from 5 feet to 1 foot. 2, a waiver of the curb and gutter requirement for a parking lot expansion area. 3, a drive aisle width variation from 26 feet to 16 feet. And 4, a waiver of the parking lot island requirement in accordance with the reviewed plans, public testimony, and findings of fact. Thank you.
All right, thank you, trustee. Now we'll go to trustee Rigoni for the final item on the Plan Commission.
Thank you, Mayor. Lanigan Variance 219 Pacific Street. Property owners William and Donna Lanigan propose to build a new single-family home on the vacant corner located at 219 Pacific Street. There was a former house on this property and was demolished in July of 2022. However, no plans or surveys exist of the former house. The existing parcel is substandard for lot width and lot depth for a corner lot in the R2 single-family zoning district. The applicants request the granting of the reduction of a minimum lot width and minimum depth to permit subdivision of the property. Additionally, the applicants request the granting of the following variances to permit the construction of the proposed one-story home on the existing non-conforming buildable lot. A first-floor building variance for the masonry requirement to permit the use of non-masonry materials, and a reduction in the lot width requirement of 120 feet to 101.28 feet, a reduction in the lot width requirement of 150 feet to 147.31 feet, and the applicant is also seeks preliminary and final plat approval of the newly created 219 Pacific Street subdivision. At the August 22nd, 2024 public hearing held on the project, the Plan Commission forwarded 5 unanimous recommendations to the Village Board to grant the variations request and the approval of the preliminary and final plat of subdivision. The motion before us is to accept the Plan Commission recommendation, waive the first and second readings, and pass an ordinance granting the following zoning variances to the vacant property located at 219 Pacific Street for the construction of a new single-family home. A first-floor building materials variance for the masonry requirement to permit the use of non-masonry materials, a lot width variance for 120 feet to 101.28 feet, a lot depth variance from 150 feet to 147.31 feet, and a variance from section 9.5-1 of the Village of Frankfort Land Subdivision Regulations to approve a plat of subdivision for a lot width and depth which do not conform to the requirements of the Village of Frankfort zoning ordinance, all in accordance with the reviewed plans, public testimony, findings of fact, and subject to a cash in lieu of payment to the Village of Frankfort in lieu of the installation of a public sidewalk along Pacific Street, frontage as required by the land subdivision regulation. The second motion is to accept the Plan Commission recommendation and approve the preliminary and final plat of subdivision of 219 Pacific Street to create a lot of record prepared by Joseph A. Shute and Associates in accordance with the reviewed plan and subject to any necessary technical revisions prior to recording.
Thank you, Trustee Rigoni. Those are all the items on the consent agenda. We have a motion and a second. There's no separate discussion of this, so we will go to our clerk, Katie Schubert, for the vote.
Trustee Savaria?
Yes.
Trustee Rigoni?
Yes.
Trustee Petro?
Yes.
Trustee Borelli?
Yes.
Trustee Rossi?
Yes.
Trustee Lennon?
Yes.
Motion carries.
Thank you, clerk. Now we come to, yes, and welcome, Lanigans.
Thank Adam, because I think you were the one that made me aware, we don't want to be like Hinsdale. You know what? We were a little naive, and you were so right. So what that did was, that gave us an opportunity to turn in what we had, which we thought we liked, into something that we love. So, to everybody here, thank you.
Thank you. Next item on here, what's called the Mayor's Report, and we'll start with our 56th Annual Frankfort Fall Fest. We just wrapped it up. It was amazing festival this year. We want to thank the Frankfort Fall Fest Committee, their year's worth of work. This was a nationally ranked, award-winning festival, considered number 7 in the country. More than 250,000 people come through our village of Frankfort over the Fall Fest weekend. And there are more than 300 vendors. They come from all across the country. Frankfort Chamber of Commerce sponsors this, and we want to thank them for all their hard work. Same with the village of Frankfort, all of our staff, our board members who all volunteered, our police department, our public works, our partners with EMS and with the Will County Sheriff's Office, our fire department, and all those yellow shirt volunteers who were out there, including the young ones who are in light blue shirts, the bluebies as they call them. It was amazing, just an amazing festival this year. We also want to thank everyone who attended the festival and made it wonderful. We couldn't have asked for any better weather, and the parade, which was a big highlight, was well attended and just a tremendous amount of fun. So we're going to give everybody a couple days off to recuperate, but then the planning will start again. And many thanks to Jeremy Calise and Chris Herder, who headed up this amazing event. We have a senior breakfast that is planned for September 18th. It's right here, 8 o'clock at the Village of Frankfort Administration Building. We invite residents who are 62 or older to attend the event and enjoy a complimentary breakfast. Space is limited and registration is required. Please RSVP to Sue Lynchy by September 11th at 469-2177. The chief and I will be here making a presentation as well, and question and answer, and usually some of the board members can attend based on whether they're available from work. So we'll be here to answer questions for you for that. We have an Oktoberfest event that is slated for October 5th, and it's with the Frankfort Restaurant Association. It's a one-day fest. It's going to be Saturday, October 5th from 11 a.m. until 10 p.m. It's in downtown Bright Green. The event will feature family-friendly activities from 11 a.m. to 5 p.m., followed by a 21 and over event starting at 6 p.m. Enjoy live music, food, and much more throughout the day. Our Scary at the Prairie 5K Spooky Sprint is scheduled for October 19th. Registration is now open for our 3rd annual Scary at the Prairie. It is a costume race also. Online registration is available at raceroster.com, and you can also visit the village website for more information. We'll want you to save the date for another October event. It's a new one. It's Ghost Stories on the Green. It'll be October 25th. And the village is partnering with the Frankfort Public Library to bring some scary stories to Bright Green in the early evening on Friday, October 25th. Join us for the inaugural Ghost Stories on the Green, a family-friendly event featuring tales for tiny terrors. Costumes are encouraged. Stay tuned for more details. The Frankfort Police Department will host its annual Safety Trunk or Treat Halloween event on Saturday, October 26th, from 10 a.m. to noon in the Brighter Green parking lot on downtown Frankfort. So we want you to save the date for that one. Our cruise in Frankfort will continue. It comes back starting Monday night in downtown Frankfort. It's from 5 p.m. until 8 p.m. and will go through September 23rd. The Country Market will continue every Sunday in downtown Frankfort. That's from 9 o'clock until 1 p.m., and that will go through October 27th. So we have a lot of things going on still in the fall, and we're looking forward to a great season. And at this time, that wraps up the mayor's report, and we'll go to our clerk, Katie Schubert, for board comments.
Thank you, Mayor. A few things tonight. First, our next committee of the whole meeting is Wednesday, September 11th here at Village Hall, and the next village board meeting will be Monday, September 16th. Through September and October, we will remain in our business casual attire, so be business casual. Our final meeting in business casual will be October 21st, our last meeting in October. And that is all I had tonight.
All right, thank you. Trustee Letton.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. I guess the only thing I was going to comment on was the Fall Fest. It was wonderful, perfect weather. Couldn't ask for anything more there. Everybody I see here was involved and participated, and I appreciate all of you doing that. And the village staff did a wonderful job transforming the town. The chamber did an outstanding job putting the event together. The parade was led by this wonderful Grand Marshal who really put us on the right path. So it was a great time the whole weekend, and thanks to everybody.
Thank you, Trustee. Trustee Savaria.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. I guess I'll echo Trustee Ledden's comments and thank all the first responders and the village workers for a job well done. And then a reminder, Clerk, that I will not be at the Committee of the Whole or the next board meeting.
Okay. Trustee Rigoni.
Thank you, Mayor. First, I'd like to welcome Triple Crown Training along with these 6 new businesses that we welcomed in August. I'd like to congratulate the Lanigans on a home in our downtown that embodies everything that we have looked at, including even tree preservation. So I'm glad to see that that was able to happen. Going to echo exactly what my fellow board members have said. We really outdid ourselves this weekend. Fall Fest was absolutely fantastic. Would like to thank the chamber staff, village staff, fire department, police department, local businesses, restaurants, civic organizations, and all those yellow shirt volunteers, including the ones that we got to hang out with this weekend. We really did shine, and it is fantastic to be part of this, to show the volunteerism. But also just a quick story about what a great community we are. We had a vendor who was going to unfortunate events have to leave on Monday. Within a quick phone call and a discussion amongst a group, residents of Frankfort pulled together and helped out that particular vendor who lives over 200 miles away and was able to stay till Monday. I mean, that is the true kindness, and they're embodied the exact Frankfort, and why I'm so proud to be part of a resident, as well as an honor to sit up here. It really was amazing, so thank you.
Great, thank you. Trustee Petro.
Thank you. It's worth repeating. A simple but big thank you to all of the volunteers, our village and chamber staff, our police and fire departments, residents, and visitors for making this year's Fall Fest another success. I met first-timers to Fall Fest, which is always really fun, as well as return visitors, and the sentiments are always the same. They all just love Frankfort, and we certainly did shine this weekend. Thank you.
Thank you. Trustee Borelli.
Thank you, Mayor. Again, ditto to all those thank yous. There's so many out there, it would take longer than an Oscar acceptance speech. So I will emphasize my thank you to the police, not just because our chief is sitting right here, but because it means a ton. Without that police presence, this doesn't happen. If it's not safe, people won't come, and it's not an intimidating presence. It's one that makes you feel safe and welcome, and our police officers are second to none. They're so warm and welcoming, and I know that's kind of part of the deal when you sign up to be a Frankfort police officer. You kind of give up your Labor Day weekends personally, and I'm really grateful for it, so thank you to them. Also, thank you to our Fall Fest chair, Chris Herter, who wasn't there, unfortunately. He's recovering. Prayers go out to the Herter family. Despite that, the entire family is there volunteering all weekend. John is emceeing the parade, and Kim's doing her thing, and I got to help out with John Jr. I'm not sure if he's junior, but with the gate, and so it was just fantastic. Just what a family, and they embody what's great about Frankfort. So thank you to the Herder family, and again, prayers to Chris. We wish you a speedy recovery. I also wanted to congratulate Lincoln Way East. I hate that they play a home game on Friday of Labor Day weekend because I can never go, but what a game. That's fantastic to beat Maine South, number 5 ranked. And how about Brody Gish coming in off the bench, running back, first varsity game, rushes for over 200 yards. I know there's a thing out there on Facebook where you could vote for him for Player of the Week. I hope everyone does. I think the Falcons shared it. Let's get him Player of the Week. That is stepping up it in a way that is just amazing. So congratulations, Griffins. What a great season this is going to be. Can't wait to see what happens come November. And then lastly, I wanted to welcome the Lanigans. I really do appreciate. It's tough, sometimes I think to shoot someone down and kind of, they came to us with a proposal. They have a beautiful lot in downtown. They had a beautiful house in downtown that they were proposing. But again, we uphold these standards. We went through a whole process, especially with the downtown residential guidelines. I appreciate them following them, and I look forward to welcoming them to the neighborhood, and they'll be right on the parade route next year. So they're in a great spot. Thank you, Mayor.
Thank you, Trustee Burley. Trustee Rossi.
Thank you, Mayor. First off, to see the wave of yellow out there with all the ambassadors, all the black captains, et cetera, working is incredible. It just shows what a great village we have to have that many volunteers out there working. Second thing is just, again, police and fire, we all touched, but I don't think everybody realizes there was a police or fireman out there, a bunch of them, every minute from Wednesday night all the way till Monday night. They never stopped. They all worked all 5 days, all 6 days, whatever it was, and I appreciate that very much.
Thank you, Trustee Rossi. All right. Is there any other business to come before us tonight? All right. Hearing none. This is where public comment. Anyone in the audience would like to come up and make a comment before the board tonight? Hearing none, can I get a motion and a second to adjourn?
So moved.
I think Trustee Burley and the motion, Trustee Zavari with the second. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Meeting is adjourned. Thank you, everybody.